morning, good day to you. As usual, whenever you listen to this series of knowledge, here's a program from Keshe Foundation, Space Series. We are back and with a lot of joyful time to come and a lot of things to be able to learn and to share. In the process of creation, mankind always has looked at the physical dimension and not on the dimension of the creation and how the two merges. Past few weeks we've shown how your body is structured through amino acid. That one part is a physical and one part is the universal energy. And in the physical part you communicate with voice, with noise, with sight, with everything else, with kicking or whatever, that one knows you exist and what you're communicating. On the other side, which is the energy side, which is connected to universal line of energies where we are created to, what I call, this is the string at the end of the balloon, which connects the balloon to somebody's hand or a source, a point, where the balloon is the body of the man, physicality of the man. We have to see how that side communicates. We visualize our dream. We visualize it because we have the coding system which once the energy enters it, that decoding system creates its own image. And then we see it as dream or we receive it as a noise, information or whatever. This is what we do. We send a message down the computer lines, and then when it receives by the other side, the other end, it converts it to an image. Then we know this is what image the other side has sent. Or the interaction of the fields has created, we call it the noise or lines on the screen we see. Some of it is made by the person sending you the picture, and some of it is lines and noises which is made by the equipment itself, which is still manifests itself as an image on the screen. So our brain is an image converter from the energies which it receives, and man calls this a dream. When he sees the conversion through the eye holes, which comes through the eye neurosystem to the brain, we call it the image of reality of physicality. But unfortunately, the dimension of the energy fields of the universe, which work on the dimension of the energy side of the brain, is still interact with this material called the brain of the man. And each information, once it's done, has certain strength, which converts itself to the image of what we call the dream. Because now it's converted as energy. And we know what these energies are. One energy is the level of the mother, one energy is the level of a stone, the flower, and everything else, which our brain recognizes that. But how much of it does our brain deciphers, and some of it doesn't decipher because it does have no reference point to it. What does this mean? Is like, I spoke with the Chinese with the eyes not centralized. One eye looks a slightly different way to the other, so the brain continuously decides which eye is giving the right information, and you recognize it as being. If you close the eye of a Chinese man, or a woman, which has this defect on the eye, and just try to carry them the information, they are in a huge dilemma. Because they trust the ears both to give the same, but they don't trust the eyes. Because it's automatically needs confirmation of. It's very easy to confuse the Chinese with the eye repositioning. It's extremely easy to do. Because they visually, what they see, the brain automatically by birth has recognized which picture is real or mixture of the two gives them three-dimensional reality. It's the same with our brain. We receive the information in a three-dimensional, and then our brain deciphers. It's a decoder. And then during the day, that image is continuously there, but we have nobody working on that screen. It's like you've seen these new system that they put two monitors next to each other to make a half circle monitor. Nobody is watching the left, what they call monitor. You're only watching the right monitor, which is your physical dimension of life. If you learn to be able to monitor and watch both the screen at the same time, then the life becomes interesting. Because on one side, you have the physical dimension when you're looking, and one side is the what we call universal energy dimension covered in the brain. This is what our transmutation at the moment is doing with a lot of knowledge seekers. They see themselves physically, but they go somewhere else in energy, but they're aware of the body still left. As our Australian friend wrote a couple of days ago, I was in Athens, I could feel, I could touch, everything was so real, but I knew my physical body is at home. This is the next step, to be able to create a trust in when you're in Athens, to call the physicality over, to give the trust that I can come back home. The reason you have watching one of the screens and both of the screens, due to the training you're getting from the Keshe Foundation, plus on top of what we naturally know, has to become a norm. In a way, I want to cross the road, I can see the car, I can see the drivers, whatever. Then I look at my energy side, which is connected to the energy side of the driver. Sorry, I'm thinking about my grandmother, I have no attention to the road, don't cross, to get the physicality to a stop, because I'm going to hit it, because the guy is dreaming somewhere else. And this is why suddenly you're crossing the road and somebody pulls you back. It's the energy side, the soul side, where with the driver's side that's coming, you pull it back. If you close your eyes and go into the repair condition, what we call sleep, now the left screen is working. And the information still comes. The brain has to decipher, you call it a dream. Man has not learned to use, to be aware, to collaborate the energy side with the physical side. And this is why man has a problem even in transmutation, because in watching the two screen, he has a problem, let alone bringing, to be able to bring the left screen on the right side, or the right side on the left side, and collaborate the two to get one screen. Why do you need two? Why do you need two eyes? Man, in the passage of space, when it becomes man of space, you'll find many, many creatures use only one eye. Because the dimension of the trust in the line of the connection to universal energy and a physical dimension is one. Very few creatures, very, very few creatures in the universal community are like man with two eyes and everything in two parts, because of the matter state of the, what do you call it, the creation. Now, this is the problem we have with you lot. When we get you into the wellness system individually, and you are there to do something, we see the whole both side comes together. You read of one hymn sheet. When we put you in a group trying to transmute you, or put you individually in transmission, the lack of trust eliminates the power of transmutation. How can you build this? How can you change this? How can you become the controller of the whole structure of your life? As one of knowledge seekers says, I was dreaming, and in a dream, I had a dream. In my dream, I was dreaming about such and such a thing. Now, imagine that. What does it mean? It means in the dimension of the energy of the universe, you still can dream. It's the extension of evolution in understanding. The way you dream in a physical condition through the soul of physicality and physicality, which has nothing to do with a connection to an universal line, the soul of the man has the same characteristics. In a way, through connection with the fields of the creator, the essence of the creation, sees the connection of what needs the energy level to do. Then you bring that at the same time hitting the, what I call the translator, the transformer of the energy, which is the brain of the man, to become information that you see a dream of a dream. And then at the same time, you have a dream of physicality. In the process of creation, this is part of the structure of understanding how you will be able to transmute and how you'll be able to transfer. A lot of people call it déjà vu in English, in French. That means I've seen this before, I've been there. It's just like a repeat of. There's not a repeat of. There is nothing called I've seen this before. You see what you think you've seen in the dimension and image of what your soul has seen. On the string attached to the physicality. And now you bring the two images together, then you say, oh, in physicality is what actually I've seen in the dimension of energy. But don't forget, it has a problem. The problem is, brain of the man is physical. The soul is aware of, inform the brain. Now physicality sees is a time delay. It's like when you speak on earth and the guy listens on the moon. You have a time delay. So what soul sees in the dimension of its energy, physicality sees in the dimension of physicality. And then you say, I've seen this before. It's like a deja vu. Why? Now you understand. The speed of dimension of the universal energy is much, much stronger than the conversion in physical, which creates a time delay. If you understand this, then you can use this knowledge in transmutation. You see you're in Colosseum, you see you are in whatever, and you see your body in another position. Just reverse the process to call in, to transfer energy of the soul of the physicality with you. The physicality will come, but you always have a trace back, as we saw in the ladder. You're always connected. The biggest problem is to transmute on this planet. The easiest problem is to transmute across the universe. The reason being is that in the physicality, you have to trust the physicality. In the energy, the connection you know is always connected to the point, which means you're always connected to DNA, to the atmospheric gravitational field of the earth. Your soul trusts, but your physicality doesn't. That's why 99% of you cannot transmute. When you do part of it, you're still connected to physicality. You see yourself doing something, but you're aware my physicality is here, my body is here. I tell you a story that you might understand. I explained this before. Going through the life of the soul. I lived in desert for hundreds of years. One tree and one water well. So the man cross. So many men come and tap into the reserve of the water. Never saw me. They always saw an old man sitting by the well. He used to be called, if you go to the history of the man of the Bedouins, they call you the story of the water well of the old man. I watched many come and go over centuries. None ever understood where they are coming from, and none ever understood where they are going to. Even though I asked them, the only reference point they had was the city and a city destination. They never understood about the transmutation and their own soul. Where did the soul come from and where the soul is going to? I asked the question about the energy of the creation. They answered in the dimension of physicality of the man. Then it comes a point. You choose to move on. You choose to move to see when the time is right, is now I have to do, where we transfer the energy of the old man into the dimension of physicality of a young child to manifest in the dimension to complete what already another cycle of beginning has started that has to fulfill by the child. Then comes what child does in physicality is not what in essence does the man in the soul. If you understand this, you understand the process of transmutation and transportation and conversion. So for you knowledge seekers, that you're coming to this point is one thing is important. The point of the birth conversion from the energy to matter and the matter to energy. That cry of birth, that evolution of the time cross, that singing of the owl, all is the same thing. All refers to one condition, but with different stories that you might understand it at different level of the comprehension. In the systems of coming time, when you go through these tests on Fridays, once a month, we push you to that dimension. In a way, the next 3 sessions is the carrot to get you moving. The carrot is that on the level of energy, you can have everything you want. Why do you attach yourself to the dimension of physicality? Which then it needs to kill to destroy. I give you the energy of the carrot, you create the image of the carrot in your brain, you receive the energy of the carrot, you don't need to destroy a carrot. So you want a steak, I create that energy which hits your brain, you get the image of the steak, you enjoy yourself with it, then you don't need to kill. But the biggest problem is in the future, which we have to resolve. We know the solution, but you will have to do it. This is the time of transition. Even this carrot business in next 3 months is a transition. But if you don't learn it, you cannot go through the transmutation complete. What does this mean? It means once you come to the transmutation, in the universe, the food has no taste. The food has no image. It's not a cow, it's not a carrot, it's not a steak, it's not a pie. For the time being, we have to push you along till you get the confidence that you can drive without holding to the handle, without needing a car, without needing to put a fuel in it, which is your physicality, and the fuel of physicality, which is killing to get. Where universal energy, you receive what you need, because the next creature doesn't look like a cow, it doesn't taste like a carrot, it does not need to be consumed, but its energy is giver, and you are the possessor. You possess love, which means you give from the root of the essence of your creation, which means mehrad, which means to give unconditionally with love of the creator. If you understand this, you can transmute. If you understand this, you can feed yourself. If you understand this, the process of the creation will become to you as clear as the daylight. When you transmute, leave the physicality, if you don't see first that light, it means you're still in the dimension of physicality. Man cries when he's born. Soul, when it transmutes due to conversion of the field energy in interaction with its environment, creates the light. I am the light. Because the light is me, is the essence of the creation, confirmation of my existence in the realm of the creator. I'm the only one who sees the light. Hence, I still have the confirmation of the physicality. You knowledge seekers need to step up to understand and bring that change. Live your beautiful life in physicality with your wife, your children, and everything else. And understand what is, what can, and how things can be. What does this mean? To you, does not necessarily means anything to anybody else. You are used to dreaming, and you're used to physical dimension. And in that process, none of you, in a way, due to condition of the structure of the brain, this light never, hardly you ever see. Because the brain has learned to deny it. So it doesn't exist. Because if you were in the physical dimension, and then you go into the position of the different field strength of the body of the man as an energy, when the, what we call the energy expands to cover the totality of operation in the visual dimension and even the sound dimension, our brain has learned to, in a way, when it sees this, clip it. Doesn't exist, because we do this even during the daytime. And when that clipping switch is not sequential and is not deleted, you call it deja vu. if operates in a direction and dimension of the energy, it becomes part of your life. And in a way, as I said, when you're crossing the road, is the field energy of the soul which pulls you back. It says, oh, somebody pulled me back. No, it's your own energy field which does not follow your physicality. How many times come to you that says something is holding me back? That guy behind you, that guy who doesn't allow you to cross or something holds you back, is your soul. And through the interaction of blocking in this what we call flashlight of conversion, you feed it at something else. You call it premonition. You have created so many words to justify our ignorance and not face the fact, the reality of the life, that the two sides, the energy side and the physical side, are the same. Next time you come to this point, try to cross it. Try to follow, be aware in dimension of physicality where the soul takes you. Not what you want to do. Then you'll see, you find gradually ways to transmute, because now you are doing the job of the soul. In a way, you're giving physical dimension to the action of the soul. Don't do crazy things, don't go and jump off a cliff, but understand that process. We have to take you through this process. We have to teach you this. Many of you come on the teaching, will understand, and through the energy we create within your field of universal dimension, you will connect to the body called physicality, and then you become the teachers of the others through the same dimension of field strength. It's like, we know we do not eat a fruit which is red in the jungle. It can kill. This become part of our second part. Transmuting, transferring, trusting the energy of the soul of the man has to become accepted, and accepted by the man, because it's not the second part. It's always been there. It's you who's been denying it. It's very much like, as I said many times before, 30, 40 years ago, when you used to walk on the street, people used to talk to themselves and make faces with themselves and raise their hands, and we used to call them the crazy. Now 80% of the population is crazy, because you got the headphones in your ear and you're talking on the mobile phone. Have you watched somebody when he talks on the mobile phone? The hand goes, the mouth goes, the shouting comes. So you already have accepted this new condition of what we call mental condition. You all become crazy. We have accepted, we have something in our ear, and it brings the information, and we convert it, and we show all physical dimension to it. We even run, and nowadays they bring you these glasses that you think is so real that you jump off the table and break your leg, where you think is on the reality of the image. In a way, mankind has been made ready for transmutation by the carrots of the mobile phone, by the stake of the new eye units and acceptance of the telephone in 1844. Gradually, we are giving you that carrot to believe that you don't need to have anything in your hand. Soon there'll be a little pin in your ear. You don't need even to carry the phone. And then it goes with everything else, as telephones in 1980s used to be the size of a briefcase. Now is a pinhead. Now we accepted it. Now we develop technologies which transfers energy in the energy of the universe, that man can switch between the energy and what we call physicality. In a way, as I said, the carrot carrot and the stick is that dimension and the system, which we call it the universal matter energies, which we have put in the market for you, and many of you have bought it. They're going to be going out in the next few weeks. This is a part process of that system. In the teaching of next 2 or 3 months, we give you the carrots, as we said, it's the feeding, in introducing how to tap to the energy of the universe, and with these, what we call cosmic ray bottles, or what we call the balls, in your hand, we teach you the process of transmutation. If you had that disc with a hole in it, with that ball in the center of it, then you understand more about the world of creation. I use the carrot and the stick. You don't learn, we go back, we do more, we come back, we explain more. But the process of creation has to come through the fields. Understanding by emotion and not by touching with the physicality and emotion of what we call solar physicality. With these new balls and the new technologies which we are putting into the system, we start the process of transmutation using universal links, detached from dimension of physicality. The ganses still hold you on to schizophrenic of the universal energy and the matter state. The, what we call cosmic dust, which comes in the ball, is to connect you with the dimension of the fields of the universe. There's a very interesting point when you get these balls. Watch how the material disappears. You think I lost most of it. And watch how it refills up again. You tap into, you take the energy, you use the reserve, you leave it, it will fill up because its characteristics, it fills up with the fields of the universe, which is needed. And then you see, oh, it was half full, today is full. These balls, if you manage to get 2 of them and hold them in a position and place them in a position which will teach you as we come into it next year, will bring you to the dimension of the fields of the universe and the completion of the transmutation. You have to understand your 2 part of connections, physical dimension, which is the nitrogen and oxygen, your universal connection, which is the hydrogen and carbon. And they have to be in balance with each other. When you increase one energy goes. When you decrease one energy comes in. And this creates the condition of the physical side or transmutation side or the energy side. In the coming weeks and in coming months, slowly, step by step, I'll take you through this process. November session is beginning of that carrot. And then the universal balls after the new year is trying to connect you to tap into universal energies and understand how much you take. In a way, The carrot, the steak, the meat, the milk is in that ball. How much you give to take and how much you convert to, in a way, bring together within your own physicality, or you let the physicality go to a new dimension. Understanding the world of creation according to the man is not just its rocks, animals, and the stars. Is understanding what man does not see as anything, which is another 95%, which is to you is all empty space, which is in fact is more energy there than actually in the planetary system, in the stars and the galaxies, in the matter state observation of the man. You have to understand the process of the light. You have to understand the process of the creation in the matter state and the creation in the energy state, what we call dimension of the world of the creation. And then you come to understand the process of both is the same, but a different strength. And you have a transition line which brings the four elements of the creation and manifestation together. And then it brings in the emotion, and then it brings in the creation, then brings the soul, and then for itself, it brings it back to the world of the creator. You got to understand, as you have a physical dimension in the body of the man, in the matter state side, you have a dimension of the soul in the energy side, depending on carbon 14 and depending on carbon 60, which is the crystal structure manifestation of the strength of your soul. As you have a physical life, you're 6'2", blue eyes, God knows what, black skin and the rest of it. You have a dimension and size in the soul or universal energy side of your body. Because by existence of the hydrogen and carbon 14 in the dimension of motion of its fields, which is the creation of its own carbon 60, your soul has a dimension and a field and a strength and a color which identifies you as you. Now that you will not carry the dimension of physicality. You got to understand, if a man from planet Zeus sees your physical dimension, he will run, never seen somebody with 2 legs and 2 arms and 2 eyes. But it sees the beauty of your carbon 60 created by the strength of your soul, which sees the beauty of it. What it gives and how much little it takes. Then to me you're a danger in the strength of the field, or to me you're a friend, because I cannot give you too much, I destroy myself, or as a friend I can give you as much as you like, because I have more, I gather more. So it comes to you as knowledge seekers, you are familiar with standing in front of the mirror to your physical dimensions. Now you have to find a mirror to see the beauty of the field, the strength of your soul. And there is nothing more than the mirror of the universe. Nothing more than interaction with another soul. To see your true strength. Am I always a taker because I'm still infant? Or am I given that I'm matured, that I can support? I made man in the image of myself. I have no physicality, but I feel and I live in the strength of the fields of the universe. This is a dilemma for you knowledge seekers to sort out. I give you the stick and the carrots of the fruits and vegetables in next 2 or 3 months that you learn that energy can come. Then I drop you in the deep end in after, what do you call, February, March, in universal field energy through the cosmic bundle ray packages, the balls which many of you have taken. That this is the carrot and the stick of the physicality, that's the carrot and the stick of universal energy. That how you transfer and how you transmute, how you create a dimension of the fields of your physicality, and what you see your soul size and dimension will be, will change your life in a dimension of physicality to strengthen, to increase, is what we call giving potential, or the love for the creator. Some of you, when you mature to a point, you will use the world of physical, trying to elevate the soul of physicality and then the soul of the man, which you will understand you can do that by taking energies of the universe in one dimension through the soul of man, soul of physicality of the man, through the physicality of the man to elevate the soul itself. Now you understand. When you become that star, when your dimensions created by the interaction of the fields of universal link of your body by hydrogen and the carbon-14, then you know your position in the universe. Then you know what you will create as children of the man in the dimension of the soul in the universe, where, how you will see the dream of the dream, that where my position will be, what I shall achieve, and what I achieve is not to my expectation. I have to give more. So I abide by the rules in the dimension of physicality to make a better, what I call bulb. If you remember, I explained about the tulips. Now, when this bulb sits in another position, creates the most beautiful flower of the creation of the Creator. Image of an image. Dream of a dream. But the reality in the dimension of the field of universe. In a way, go back to part of the teaching. I said, you care about your children, how they eat, how they get educated in the dimension of physicality. Now you become aware of the strength of field of your soul, and you're there. How do you replenish? How do you give it the strength that the children of your soul, which become creator of another cycle of life, is in your hand in the dimension of physicality? How do you want those children to be? Children of man to kill, or children of the creator to give? And this is your dilemma. Many of you will face this, and many of you will take a dimension of transition and transportation to bring that dimension. I use my physicality to take the energy from the universe the purest way, that allows me to feed my soul, to become that perfect condition that in creating the children of my soul, I shall not commit no wrong. And I create the children which befits the Creator. Now you understand. I have laid out the path to the teaching of the future today, and how you will be there, and many of you will follow and be there to be completed. In this process, you understand how important it is to keep both sides pure and correct. that one does not take from the other, and one does not give to the other that is too much, becomes the stagnation and the demise of the other. In the process of coming times, you learn more about yourself and how close you've been to your soul, and how you deny that access, and how you can establish new lines of communication between the two sides, that you live perfect life. Maybe you can watch in the dimension of physicality through a sense of the conversion of information, how your soul, as you went to atom to see the atom, you see its position in the universe, what will create, and how beautiful the children of your soul as a star, as a galaxy will become. You don't need to dream, I have a house and I have children on this planet. You can see the reality of the dream of the field of the, what we call the soul of the man. And no one can interfere. There are no prophets, there are no gurus in this process. The teachers, we show you, we teach you the path. It's you who have to decide. A physicist, a criminal, a president, and which one at each level you stay correct to yourself. These are the title of the man. In the universe there is only one title, the creation and the created. Understand the process. And in the coming time, I try to teach you, as I said, I connected you to the path where you come. Now I laid out the program of the future of the Keshe Foundation. How step by step we bring that elevation. It's not just you knowledge seekers who listen. Millions of people in the future will listen to the dimension of soul and elevation of it, to the teaching of today and in past times, and gradually walk away from the dimension of physical pain of the man. As I said, it's your responsibility. You know it and you cannot deny it. How you reach it is your problem. Keshe Foundation is not to sell a pillow, a candle, a soap and the rest, but it is how we can keep you to understand the transfer of energies, how energies are transferred to your soul, to your hand, to your eyes. Everything, knowingly or unknowingly, within the structure of the Keshe Foundation is set to elevate your soul and dimension of physicality. The pillow you buy from the foundation, you put on the head on it, elevates your soul, elevates your physical dimension, is filled up with ganses of that order. The light you see as candle is the light of the Creator, because within it we have placed the materials of the creation, the field energy. Now you understand, step by step. We're taking you there, but you've been on this path for 4 billion years. To change it overnight is impossibilities. But gradually, step by step, we get you there. I hope you understood the purpose of the teaching of today, and I hope you understood more about your, what I call twin energy part. And I hope you use it the correct way to elevate the strength of the fields of your own creation and create.